Hello, I'm Sharon Boggin, embroiderer, crazy quilter, and author of Creative Stitches for Contemporary Embroidery, Volume 1, and now Volume 2. If you followed me on Facebook or taken any of my classes, you will already know I love experimenting with stitches and sharing that with other people. Volume 2 is a companion to my first stitch dictionary, but every stitch in it is new. There's nothing repeated. When you put Volume 1 and Volume 2 together, you will have one of the most extensive embroidery stitch libraries you can pull off your shelf. As a teacher, I notice students have stall points when a stitcher is trying to move beyond copy this pattern stage to create your own design. In other words, when people are new to designing, they get stuck for ideas on what stitch to use and where and how. It's similar to a writer facing a blank page. It's not just the right stitch they are looking for, but also how they might make it theirs, how to stitch their design with their own touch. That's really where this book began. I wanted to provide you not only with stitches, as other stitch dictionaries of old do, but as ways you might tweak your stitches to make them your own. It's very difficult to see an old craft with new eyes. What I'm trying to do is that. I'm trying to help you see differently with both of these books. What's inside? There is a visual table of contents here. Now, I find these contents pages invaluable because I'm forever forgetting the name of a stitch. And if you forget the name of the stitch and you know how it looks, it is very frustrating trying to find it. A visual table of contents solves this problem. You can look at it and say, that was the one, and you're off. There is also a standard index page as well, but I find this way of accessing information very useful. There is 114 surface embroidery stitches, and they all have clear step-by-step instructions, and they are written for both left and right-handed people. There's a strong emphasis on varieties and what you can do with stitches as well. All those creative possibilities. Okay, so what can you do with all of these stitches? Well, there are all the normal things that you can make. This is just a bag I've finished recently. And so there's all the normal things that you can do. You can just treat it as a stitch dictionary and a source for stitches. Or you can do something, this is from the cover, or you can treat it almost as a course and work your way through creating a sampler and just work your way through stitch by stitch and explore those stitches and play with those stitches and learn something. So these are just a few of the samplers. If a sampler doesn't sound quite like you may want to do a stitch journal sampler. So this is just a sample that I did. As you can see, I found a lizard in the garden. So it was just a little design challenge as to how I might record. I don't talk about how to do this in the book itself, but all the stitches are there. I've been doing this nearly for 20 years now, keeping a stitch journal. This is when Notre Dame burnt. So whether you're just starting out new to hand embroidery or have been stitching for years and years, I hope this book encourages you to flex those creativity muscles and for you to learn to push your stitches just a little bit further. Embroidery has always been a way to slow down, to play, and to express myself. If you go to an art school these days, they will rabbit on about mark making because mark making is the sign of the human hand. And frankly, in the days of AI, things made by humans are very valuable. We respond to them. stitches are your mark making tool. Stitches leave a trace of your hand. They're unique to you. Stitches are a tool to express yourself, and my hope is that with this book, the tools are there for you to grow. So if this sounds like it could be part of your stitching journey, Volume 2 is out in the end of July. I have a link below as to where you can get it. C&T are my wonderful publishers. They distribute worldwide. So your local bookshop, your local quilt shop or needlework store should be able to order it in. And of course there's Amazon and all the online book suppliers. So Creative Stitches for Contemporary Embroidery Volume 2, it will stand on its own if you want, or it can work together with Volume 1. If you already have Volume 1, the two together gives you a very, very rich library to explore for years, and it will give you many, many hours of stitching pleasure. You'll find all the links below this video. Thank you for watching and happy stitching.